Good morning, Patriots. May 10th, 2019. And the last days are here. A few years ago, we were in the last days of the Obama administration, and we had endured 8 years of his destruction of America. The introduction of racial division, liberal license, sexual confusion, and so much more was the legacy we witnessed shoved onto the American scene. But most of us didn't understand what it would mean to us in the fight we are now engaged in, and what it would mean to all of America, and that this is a thing that we will endure for years ahead of us. These leftist demons, unable to believe in their delusion that they are the majority and that their views are mainstream, that Donald Trump got elected, conspired to have him removed through the execution of a soft coup. A seditious conspiracy transpired where the leaders in Obama's administration, no doubt under his direction, attempted to ensure Hillary Clinton would be elected, and when that failed, they immediately set to the task of trying to remove him by mounting a false campaign accusing him of Russian collusion. Despite the fact that there was no real evidence of that, they put their dogs to work, and Robert Mueller and his band of leftist conspirators launched into the effort to get Trump removed in whatever way they could. They were just hoping to find something that would ultimately lead them to the place where they could accuse him and put forward an effort to have him impeached, or at the very least to see him unable to be reelected. That effort has now failed, and so they're now busy on two fronts. One, creating a smokescreen and misdirection by attacking Attorney General Barr in the effort to set up the argument that his conclusions, when they come to light through his investigation, that this seditious conspiracy has been waged. They're driven by politics and not by reality. They're engaged in a disinformation campaign that intends to dilute the revelations of the evil they've been engaged in, with the argument that they're all contrived by Trump's team to cover up his own indiscretions. This is why they're calling Trump a tyrant and a despot and attacking Barr as his crony. It's an effort to confuse the American people and discredit the evidence that is sure to come out as they are investigated for what they've done. This is why the Judiciary Committee under Nadler is presenting the argument that Barr is breaking the law when he is actually obeying it, by not producing the full unredacted report of Mueller. They know they have no legal right to it, and the report they've been providing has only a few lines redacted by necessity for national security reasons. I think it's something like 7 lines or something like that in this whole report that have been blacked out as a requirement of the law. So the report they've been provided, having only a few lines removed by necessity for national security reasons, is the report that they are using, this argument that they need to see the whole report. So it's clear they know that what they're doing has no legitimacy. But this is not about any kind of legitimate process. It's about covering their rear ends, for one thing. The second reason they're doing this is because they're continuing their long duration agenda of grinding America down. By creating this confusion and division, they continue to foster violence and distrust and all manner of assault on traditional American values. The Equality Act that the Dems controlling the House of Representatives have produced has absolutely no chance of being forwarded by the Republican Senate and absolutely no chance of being signed by Donald Trump into law. So why produce it? Why waste time and energy generating this useless and dead bill? It's for the reasons I just stated, because it fosters division and provides the argument that we, traditional Americans, and Trump, and all the mean old white guys that make up the GOP, are only interested in oppressing everyone else, people of color, gays, transgenders, et cetera, et cetera. We're at war for America. Violence against those of us that stand for patriotism and traditional values is increasing. The violence is not just waged by individuals that are pro-death against those that are pro-life. It's waged by whole state legislatures, as we see in the example of New York and other states that have recently passed laws that permit the murder of innocent life up to the moment of birth and after. The New York law provides no penalty for killing babies that survive the abortion process. And if it provides no penalty, it licenses that infanticide in any case. Women can literally give birth and then have their babies killed. This is a monstrous assault on the value of life that will lead to all manner of licensing killing in other ways. It licenses the violence of pro-death activists against pro-lifers. It argues to the supporters of these extreme views that they are ethically and morally just in attacking those that stand against this. And this is the point of this post. We're entering a time when violence and chaos will become commonplace. What do you think will happen as legitimate investigations proceed and the evil conspiracies of these criminals in our government are exposed? What will happen as sensible and just arguments are presented to a conservative majority Supreme Court demanding a review of Roe v. Wade and mandates begin to restrict the ability of evil to murder these innocents? What do you think the reaction of these leftists will be when laws are passed that do not forward the license of sexual confusion into the mainstream? The Equality Act, if passed, would force every religious institution to respect this moral confusion and delusion. The reaction of the left to our demand for respect of traditional morality and virtue will be violent. And how will middle America respond to that? What we're about to enter is a time period of extremes beyond what most imagine. I saw this time coming many years ago. I hesitate to say it was a revelation because really it was just analysis based on knowledge that I gained through the course of my life's experience. The reason I began this effort of trying to build a Patriot Union was because I saw this reality on the horizon more than 10 years ago. I knew what was coming in America. I knew that we had to unite, that we had to begin to build a force that could stand against this evil that would overwhelm us. But I'm telling you now, if we do not join together and become an institutional force that is fighting on all fronts to preserve America, America will be lost. Liberty will be lost and justice will evaporate. We already see that happening everywhere. It's not enough to post on Facebook and Twitter. It's not enough to shake your fist at this evil. It's not enough to write your congressperson. It's not enough to just vote for the good candidate. Something must emerge in America that is an army of patriots that are demanding what is good and right and just. We must become a visible force in America that is clearly heard and powerfully backed and organized. The time to stand idly by is behind us. The time to stand and fight is here. I pray that everyone who listens to this message will understand the seriousness of the time that we're about to enter in this country. Our children and their children depend on us. They will look back on us and they will ask the question, why didn't we stand up and fight? And we will look at them and it'll break our hearts. because we'll understand that we failed them. So I'm pushing. These YouTube videos are the next step in my effort to push. And what am I pushing for? I'm pushing for you to understand that we have one opportunity to fight this evil. And that is for all of us to come together and to stand together and speak with one voice and work through a powerful organization that is battling and speaking and demonstrating what goodness and right and truth are all about, for us to be really witnesses to what is good and what's true in America. They've got to see it. They've got to understand a thing that they don't understand. And the only way that happens is when they see it as a reality in our lives, when they truly understand by witnessing what's good and right. So if you haven't done so, I want you to go to the website, to www.auat.org, and register your support for the Patriot Union. It doesn't cost anything. It takes literally about 10 seconds to do. And it's the first step in us becoming an organized force. Once we have the numbers, once we have tens of thousands, if not millions of patriots that are standing together behind a clear agenda, we'll begin to build that army that is able to rescue America from the evil that is trying to overwhelm it. So I'm asking you to stand with me, to stand with your brothers and sisters. If you're a patriot, if you're a Christian, the time for us to become fully engaged is right now. So come on, let's do it.